I just wanted to say here real fast that sorry if I sound congested during this. It's a mix between my allergies and still getting over a bad cold. So excuse me sounding like I'm friggin' dying half the time, but I hope it's good enough that you guys can enjoy this video. All right, guys. So this year for my top list of games and comics, I'm also going to include manga, which I don't think I've ever done. I don't think I've ever done a top 10 manga list, and I'm going to do it for the year of 2021. So what qualifies for my video anyway for the 2021 is that it either had to start in 2021, or if it was before 2021, it had to continue into 2021. And I am counting the English official release because I am in America, so obviously it's manga that I can buy and read in America, not in Japan where I can't read, and I don't really read illegally. I don't like that shit. So these are ones that I can officially read, own, or read on the Shonen Jump app and things like that. So this is going to be a pretty long list because it's top 10 manga of 2021, whether they finished, started, or began earlier and are still continuing into the 2021. And obviously, I can't include everything I've read. I've read so many, but here are my top 10. But before I get to that, I want to shout out a few honorable mentions that I really enjoyed in this year. Starting off, my honorable mentions is Hell's Paradise. This is a kind of like ninja slash samurai slash survival of the fittest type book. It is actually really enjoyable. It's about a group of people basically put on an island to try to get the elixir of life to survive forever. But of course, they come into contact with these other beings that are pretty much immortal, and they have to survive on this island. It's really bloody, gritty, fucked up, but really enjoyable. Another book that I actually really enjoyed that I didn't think I would enjoy would be Solo Leveling. This one is actually a book that is kind of like an MMO world in a realistic setting, but they go into these dungeons, and this character is kind of like a weak level rank E character, but he starts solo leveling, starts doing stuff on his own, and he becomes one of the strongest characters in the entire world, but starts from the bottom. It's kind of a cool progression. And it's actually a web comic or a webtoon that was made or put into a manga, so it's in full color and it looks great. Next one I want to mention is Tokyo Ravengers. This one has kind of taken the internet by storm in terms of the anime came out this year, but I actually read the manga a little earlier than the anime, and I really enjoyed it. It almost hit my top 10. It is very enjoyable. It's a little on the border of like one volume's pretty good, and then one is great, then back to pretty good, then one is great, and back and forth. Kind of like Hell's Paradise for me, and so it's a kind of a mixture of those two. But as far as the characters, they're interesting. I love the dynamic of going back in time and changing things to affect the future. Very butterfly effect style. And yeah, it's getting an actual print release of an omnibus form or 2-in-1 this year. So if you're more into the printing, you can pick that up later in 2022. But the digital release is in 2019 up until now, and it is pretty good, just not on my top 10. Now, another one that's on my list is The Way of the House Husband. Now, what kind of sucks about this is the anime came out and it's very stilted and very comic motion type. People are not liking that. I think it was pretty good, but the manga is where it's at. If I recommend anything, check out the manga. It's super funny, really cute at times, and really well drawn, which is actually really nice. The only negative to this is that I read through them in like 20 minutes or less, but it is very enjoyable, very quick, and a really good read. Something different than the norm for the manga industry, in my opinion. Just a kind of easy read, and it's really, really, really funny. Check it out, Way of the House Husband. All right, and my last one is Pleasure and Corruption. This one's a little weirder, very BDSM. It is about a character who is pretty much tortured by one of his classmates, and then it just gets weirder. I don't want to spoil it, but if you're into more of the sexual nature of manga, then check this out. It's not hentai or anything, but it definitely is weird and creepy in some ways, but I can't stop reading. It didn't quite crack my top 10, but it's something that I keep thinking about, and it's definitely one of the more interesting manga and newer manga that you should check out. All right, and now that we got out of the way the honorable mentions, let's get to the top 10, and I'm starting my list off with Spy X Family at number 10. This is just a great family dynamic book. It's about a spy, an assassin, and a cute little kid who's a telepathic, and they all have to live together and be a family. I don't want to spoil what happens or why they come together because it's actually a really cute thing, how they all become a family. but it somehow really works. It has actually surprisingly great action scenes too, especially the assassination ones with the mother. And most adorable kid ever among. I'm not even joking. This kid is the cutest thing in the world. But yeah, it's always funny. It's pretty good paced. Action scenes are surprisingly well done, and the art is pretty solid. I would definitely check this out. It is actually doing big numbers in terms of sales, and it's getting an anime adaptation. But if you want to jump ahead, jump on it on either Shonen Jump app or buy it. This is one of the cutest series that I'm currently reading. One of the cutest series I'm currently reading. My number 9 is going to be Fly Me to the Moon. This is super cute. It is super wholesome. And one of my favorite things about this book is that you have a husband and wife who kind of just met in a way, and then they live together, and they kind of have to find out about each other through already being married. It's a really cute idea. But what's even better is the narration in this is so funny. The narrator kills me. He kind of just makes jokes throughout the book. It's almost like breaking the fourth wall, but it works really well. On top of that, you have two great leads who really, really are super cute together. And I really like the supporting cast here. A lot of funny characters that make some awkward situations way too funny. This is one that if you just want to sit back and enjoy a wholesome type of story, this is one that you should definitely pick up. All right, so let's get into more of a funny one. Number 8 is Grand Blue Dreaming. Not all manga makes me laugh. I'm going to be honest. Some make me chuckle, blah, blah. This manga is pure friggin' gold when it comes to funny. I literally laugh out loud reading this, especially the first volume. I think I literally laughed so hard at one point I had to stop reading because I got the hiccups. It is super funny. It is also really well drawn. I'm not talking about the more provocative scenes where you get like nice shots of boobies or the men are naked all the time in this. So if you like men, you'll like this. But it is so beautifully drawn when they go underwater. It's actually about a character who joins a deep dive team and they go underwater. And oh my God, it is beautifully drawn when you go down in the sea. So this manga is not only beautifully drawn, but it is so funny. I can't say that the story is like the greatest thing ever written, but the dynamic with the characters and how they make fun of each other and a lot of cursing. So if you're not into that, this probably wouldn't be for you. But if you like mature, kind of juvenile humor all in one, this one is definitely worth checking out. Probably one of the funniest manga I've ever read. Coming at number 7 is, sorry I'm saying this wrong, Maruki-chan or Maruka-chan. This one's getting a lot of love because the anime's out now. One thing I want to say is I didn't watch the anime, but I've seen some clips, and it's a lot more itchy, but however you say it, shows a lot more like panty shots or angles on her ass. The manga does that once in a blue moon, but it is not nearly as much from what I can tell. I am currently up to date on the manga. It is so damn good. I have not seen the anime, though, so I can't speak on the quality of that. But the manga is great. I hear that it has more fan service, like I said. But if you could check out the manga, I really suggest you do. It took me by surprise. The first volume was good, and the last chapter in the first volume totally won me over. I was super eager to read more, and it's only gotten better in volumes 2, 3, and 4. You can't even get a murder mystery, which is really great. I have to say this is probably one of the most surprising mangas. Also, the art is so, so good. There's scenes in this that are outright disgusting when it comes to the monsters or the ghosts. And then there's scenes that are pure action that looks so insanely detailed and well done that it blew me away. So this has got to be one of the biggest surprise mangas for me this year and definitely worth reading. Check out the manga. It's at volume 4 right now in America. Definitely worth reading. Coming at number 6 is Blue Flag. Now, this one doesn't have an anime, which really surprised me. But this is a great representation for the LGBT community and also just teenagers dealing with their own sexuality as well as their mental state and being a teenager. Because let's be honest, that shit is hard. I really love this one. This one really was great. I want to buy the whole box set. I read it all on Shonen Jump app, but now I want to buy the whole series. It is a mature series in a way, but I feel like teenagers can really relate to this. If you ever had doubts about yourself or who you are, this is one to read. But it also touches subjects about bullying, sexuality, being judged just based on how you look, and not in just in terms of like, you know, a lot of people feel that they're not very good looking and they feel judged. But what about the other spectrum where you're very good looking and people just assume that you're this type of person? I really like that they dealt with that. This book, to me, really spoke to me in terms of trying to deal with tough subjects that maybe you don't agree with in the end, but I think work really well. I think this is one of the more important manga out there, and I can't recommend it enough. It is one of my favorite mangas out there. Go check it out. Blue Flag, definitely worth reading right now. Coming at number 5 is Chainsaw Man. So this one's probably one of the bigger ones that's going to be on my list. You might see a couple other ones you'll know, but holy smokes, did this one bring the heat. I did finish the entire series since it's all on the Shonen Jump app, but if you're reading the trades, I know we're at like volume 7 or 8 now, so you're getting close to the end. This is a bombastic manga. It really is. The ending also, I don't want to spoil it, but it's pure fucking gold. So what this series is about, if you don't know, is about just a guy who fuses or makes a deal with his dead dog, and he becomes a demon like Chainsaw Man. His face literally becomes a chainsaw. It sounds outrageous. It is outrageous, and it took me a little while to get through. About 1/4 of the way, I liked it, but I didn't love it, and then it just blew up on me, and like it absorbed me in. Once I got to like the end of volume 3, I was in completely. The art, while it's stilted at times, also looks really good at times. It's like this weird mix. And the ending to me is one of the best endings in manga. They are making a part 2, I guess, but the way it ended, if they never made anything more, I absolutely loved it. I would definitely recommend this. It's a complete series at 1 to 10 volumes. I think it's 10. And it's all on Shonen Jump. Check this out. It is fantastic. All right, and number 4 is Demon Slayer, which finished in America this year in terms of the manga. Now, before the internet tells you that I'm dumb for putting Demon Slayer so high, and it's mad, mid, yo, whatever the fuck. I hate that phrase, by the way, mid. It's just a dumb goddamn phrase. At least people are like, it's not shit or great. I hated that too, the hyperbole of it's either great or shit. At least people are saying it's mid. But anyway, I absolutely love this ending to Demon Slayer. I thought the emotional stakes were really high. The final fight with the whole Demon Slayer Corp versus the demons was excellent, in my opinion. This was just like a real great way to finish a manga. It felt like the build-up was worth it to the end. And I've really grown to love these characters. I think the story itself might be pretty, normal or nothing amazing, but the characters really just got me so invested. I cried multiple times. I was excited all the time. The fights are epic as shit. I can't wait to see this animated. Yeah, Demon Slayer really, really ended up really high on my list. I know some people don't like the very, very end, but the whole last arc before that I thought was fantastic and very much worth reading. And I really hope that the anime sticks to landing and finishes these fights as good as they looked in the manga, because it can only look even better. And yeah, Demon Slayer really surprised me as one of my favorite manga of this year and pretty much all time. It's definitely on my high list there. Now, coming in at number 3 is Blood on the Tracks. You probably heard me talk about this. I also made a video about it, but this is one of the most surprising mangas of all time. I am completely floored by this manga. While I enjoyed this author's other work, Happiness and Flowers of Evil, this to me is his best work. It's just a chilling experience. It's about a boy who witnesses his mother doing something horrible and then kind of has to live with that. It's almost like a PTSD type situation, but it's also a thriller that he's trying to escape his mother's clutches, I guess you could say. It's not in the sense that she's like a serial killer or anything, but it's something similar to that makes the series just so intense. The art is one of the best out there in terms of visual storytelling. There's not a huge amount of dialogue on this, but that's okay because he makes it up with showing the actual visuals that speak even more than any dialogue could. And this one is really great. The only negative for me is I read through these so fast that I wish it was longer or comes out even quicker. But Blood on the Tracks is one of the best thriller / horror manga that you could currently read, and definitely this author's best work so far. All right, and coming back to number 2, we're going to come back to something sweet and cute, is Sweat and Soap. This is probably one of the most feel-good, cute, and well-done romance stories that I've ever read in any medium. This is about a guy who loves to smell. He's a guy who makes like cologne and soaps and things like that, and he finds this woman who always worries that she smells too much, and he absolutely loves that. He loves the way she smells, and he's a big sniffer, so they start dating in an odd situation. But in terms of a story that handles actual relationships well, like people actually talking out their problems, dealing with old issues, and also dealing with moving in with each other, talks of future engagements like marry or having children. This series handles it all extremely well. It doesn't feel fake. It doesn't feel like they put forced situations that are over the top, draw like just silly and dumb. They actually feel like real relationships. So if you're in a relationship, you can relate to a lot of things that these characters go through. And I think the art is great. The sexy scenes are really cute and hot at the same time. And this manga really never misses it. I wouldn't rate a single volume lower than 4 out of 5, but most of them being 5 out of 5. This is one of my favorite mangas to read. When I read it, I feel good. Yeah, I absolutely love this manga. It's ending very soon, so you should check it out now so you can catch up, but it is definitely worth reading. Sweat and Soap is one of the best mangas, or I'll just say it right now, the best romance manga I have ever read. And my number one is Jujutsu Kaisen. Yeah, this is amazing. If you thought the anime was good, which it was really good, that to me, honestly, those arcs in there are the weakest arcs of the series because I'll tell you right now, you guys are not prepared, anime viewers, if you have not read the manga. The next arc, well, the next arc is the not the big arc, but it's the backstory of Gojo. But oh my god, dude, the last two arcs in this series have been amazing. So if you don't know Jujutsu Kaisen, hopefully I'm saying that right. It is about a guy who unfortunately eats a demon's finger and becomes connected to one of the most powerful demons of all time. And then he works with the Jujutsu school or team to learn how to fight these demons and exorcise them. And it sounds simple, it sounds very Shonen Jump, but I'll tell you right now, this has some of the most surprising deaths I've ever seen in manga. It is up there with like Attack on Titan where people die and you don't expect it. I also think that the fights are excellent in the manga. Very easy to follow, very well drawn, and epic as fuck. Also, I gotta say that I really like the characters in this. They attach to you very quickly. Characters that you hate, you somehow love in the next chapter, which is just so surprising to me. And I have to say, my favorite thing about this manga is it's a quick read, but it stays with you. There's scenes in this that I will never forget reading the manga. This is at its best. This is like if you took Soul Society or the Soul arc from Bleach and kicked it up to 10. And I like that arc a lot in Bleach. But this is everything. A lot of people relate this to Bleach or Yu Yu Hakusho. And I will agree. I feel like this is the modern equivalent to Yu Yu Hakusho and Bleach, but in some ways is better. It takes Shonen Jump's like normalcy and kind of flips on its head, giving us bigger stakes, more emotional moments, bigger deaths, and excellent fights. These have to be some of the best fights in manga. I'm not even gonna lie. So yeah, anyway, I know I could carry on forever. This is currently my favorite manga. I can't get enough of this. I reread chapters because the fights are so well done. I reread chapters because the deaths that took me by surprise and I had to go back and be like, what? And I tell you right now, anime fans, you're in for a treat because the movie's going to be good, but wait till the next arc. If they give it enough love that it deserves and they do it justice, you guys are not ready. I'm telling you. Anyway, that's my top 10 list. As you can see, I like diversity in my manga. I read love stories, I read comedies, I read thrillers, horror, action. I read pretty much anything. I'll give everything a chance. And a lot of these really stuck with me. Like I said, I read a lot more that I enjoyed, but I couldn't make it on my list, just too many. But biggest thing takeaway is I want you guys to check some of these out. But what are some of your manga in 2021 that you really enjoyed? Like I said, to qualify for my list, I would say that it could start before 2021, but it's still ongoing. You'll notice some I left out, like Vinland Saga. I didn't read the newest one because it's not out till 2 weeks from now. And Berserk, R.I.P. Unfortunately, he has passed away, and I have not caught up to his newest stuff. But those can make your list. But I would love to see some lists of other ones that people love. I know there's a lot of great manga out right now, like, sorry, I'm going blank, but Love is War and Yuna of the Dawn, How Do We Relationship. These are other ones I've heard a lot about that I haven't read enough to put on my list. Rent a Girlfriend, things like that. But I would love to hear your opinion. So put your list, even if it's not 10, put some of the ones you really enjoyed in 2021. I hope you guys check out some of these mangas I've listed and keep on the lookout. We're going to be doing some more top lists of indie comics, Marvel comics, DC comics, and also Worstless, which is probably going to be my next one of 2021 for manga and comics. I'm putting it together. And I have a special interview. Hopefully, this will be up before the interview with Philip Kennedy Johnson. I am super excited. He is the writer of Action Comics and Aliens. So be on the lookout. That should be up later today or tomorrow. And you guys have a fantastic day.